Schaefer hitting .246, 14 steals, tied for 7th in the league, 2 homers. Pablo Sandoval, in deference to that speed, plays him shallow at third. And the first pitch of the night is in for a called strike. 59 degrees is the official game time temperature. And he blew the high fastball right by him, strike 2. The wind is blowing out toward left field as the game begins. No clouds overhead, not yet anyway. And there is sun still shining out in the gap in right center field. Off the outside and up a little bit with that fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It is kind of a shock when you, as you see the look of the sun and the shadows. The sun shining off the hitter's backdrop into the eyes of the hitters as Kane strikes out Schaefer with the high fastball on the inside.
Well, if you take a look at the rotation, the 3 starters, Kane in his last 6 starts, Vogelsong in his last 7, and Bumgarner in his last 3, I'd say that's not too bad.
Kane in his longest winning streak, 7-2 overall for the year with 6 straight wins. Here is Altuve, and a foul that will go back into the second deck, off to the right, strike 1. Altuve, who is having an outstanding first half, .325 average. Melky Cabrera of the Giants leads the majors in hits. Altuve is 3rd in hits in the National League. Ooh, the big curveball, and he chased it, strike 2.
Yeah, he doesn't throw that pitch a lot, and he will save it for certain spots, and he saved it here for Altuve. And this is a pest, Altuve.
0-2. He struck him out with a fastball. Kane has struck out the first 2.
Well, Matt Kane this time the slow curveball, and then he just uses the power fastball right at the belt to Altuve. And yeah, it's a little tough to see right now, but Kane throwing well.
Last night, Madison Bumgarner started his game striking out the side. Here's Jed Lowry, and he takes a called strike. Kane has thrown 8 pitches, 7 for strikes. .284 average, 12 home runs. He has hit more homers than any other shortstop in the majors up till now. The former Stanford star. Changeup. Whoa, where was that one? Looked pretty good. Ted Barrett, back of the plate, the crew chief. Mike Malinsky at first, Angel Campos at second, and Brian Runge, the third base umpire. Ted Barrett, now a crew chief, back of the plate. Changeup, and a foul down off the foot. He's got that shin guard, the half shin guard over the right shin and ankle. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Matt Kane, 86 innings before tonight, only 65 hits allowed, 82 strikeouts, and only 16 walks. The high fastball popped up. Sandoval in foul ground. Nice inning for Kane, 11 pitches. Brett Wallace, the hitter, after J.D. Martinez hit a fly ball to fairly deep center for out number 1. Brett Wallace with a count of 3 balls and 1 strike facing Kane. Big, strong, left-handed hitter with power. 2-0, the Giants on top here in the second. And that's back to the screen. High fastball.
Well, he's got a powerful swing. He's got a good build for a power hitter. You know, not too tall, just compact enough where you can get some strength.
Considered a great prospect for a long time, but he has never had much success at the big league level. 3-2 the count, and he struck him out with a changeup, and that was a beauty.
Yeah, that's the beauty of what Matt Kane has been able to do, is use that changeup and fastball counts. And you're sitting on a 3-2 fastball, and you see this come in, and when it leaves his hand, you're thinking that's a fastball, and by the time you swing, you realize it's not.
That's a foul down the right field line. Well back out of play. Chris Johnson, powerful right-handed batter. By the way, just a few moments ago we heard the whistle, a salute from the historic ship, the Potomac, which is in McCovey Cove. Now there it is. Beautiful. And it's 1-2 now to Chris Johnson, and it's permanently moored now over at Jack London Square in Oakland, and got an outstanding crew that keeps it up, and you can hire it for bay cruises and that sort of thing, business functions. Here comes Arias. Very nicely done. Bogusevic facing Matt Cain, 5-0 Jacks. Here's Dwayne Kuiper.
All right, John Bogusevic with a swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, a lot going on in San Francisco with the U.S. Open.
Well, Dwight Johnson said that Matt Cain hit one 310 yards today.
Yeah, he hit it. Smoked it. Bogusevic fouls it out of the way. Sitting down by the railing next to Ted Griggs on your left is Mark Lazarus. He is the chairman of NBC Sports, along with Josh Baer. Mark in town for, well, we'll just say Mark's in town for this game. And maybe he'll run over and check out the U.S. Open. You think?
That never would have occurred to me.
Yeah,
but
he's here for this.
Which
2-2
on one of the NBC Sports family of networks.
Yes, it is. This is chopped foul. So we talked to him. He came up with Ted Griggs before the game, and he had never been to this park before. And he was obviously mighty impressed.
He really was.
And who wouldn't be, right?
When you come up here, especially, you get the look of the bay and the ships and the boats and the whole panorama.
Bogusevic is out 4-3. I'm going to bring up Chris Snyder.
This is the 13th year of the ballpark. So we've been coming up here to this level where you see not just the game, but that spectacular view of the Bay Area from here. And every time is like the first time. We come up here and we just gawk like everybody else. What a spectacular sight it is. It never gets old.
Snyder hitting 194 with 3 home runs, 16 driven in. Here he takes the pitch down low with the pitcher Jay Happ on deck. The Rangers have just beaten the Diamondbacks 1-0. It is rare to see a 1-0 score in Arlington. And Snyder comes up empty, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Joe Nathan got the save. The only run of that game scored in the 8th inning. They haven't posted it just yet on the hand-operated scoreboard here at AT&T Park.
They're pretty quick, though. Snyder breaks his bat and rolls this foul.
Oh, they posted it now.
There you go.
That was quick. By the way, see if you can guess who drove in the only run for Texas.
Your Torrealba. No, Napoli was playing, so unless Napoli was DH.
Well, Napoli scored the run.
Okay.
Driven in by Craig Gentry.
Oh, I mean,
the man who looks like the greatest hitter that we've seen all year.
Mr. 3000.
He's now hitting .340 for the season. What, he had about, 9 hits in 3 days here?
He did. 1-2 pitch. And Snyder had a good rip, and he fouls it back.
That was Matt Harrison, the guy who shut out the Giants last Friday. He went 7 1/3 shutout innings in that game.
Now, there was a rain delay in that game, and it looks like both managers came back out after the delay and used his starters.
And the delay occurred in the 4th inning. Both starters, Wade Miley for the D-backs and Harrison of the Rangers, stayed in.
Snyder a good take. 2-2. Brats. We get brats. We get onions, too. Yeah, you better keep those behind glass. 2-2 pitch.
Oh.
Strikeout number 4.
Well, Matt Cain is putting the ball right where he wants it to go. Look, the target opposing right where that ball is, right on the edge. Beauty.
Here's our Geico quote of the game. It comes from Mickey Mantle, and it's on golf. The only sure rule in golf is he who has the fastest cart never has to play the bad lie. Meaning that if you get to the ball first,
yeah, explain that one to me.
You can move it. And the slower cart won't see you.
That never happens in golf, does it?
No.
So obviously it does then.
Happ takes a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. This guy's got to be getting tired, or it looks like he's leaving.
He is. He's heading out of McCovey Cove. He's heading out into the open water.
It's a one-man Wolfpack. He is out of here, baby. He is gone. That's a great toy, too.
We have to get one. Or 2.
Yeah, make it 4. 1-2 pitch. Happ takes high, 2-2.
Bruce Bochy was out of the bay today in an America's Cup boat.
Said he was mighty impressed.
It was an Oracle.
Mike went yesterday.
That's what he was doing on the special assignment.
Yeah. They scored 7 runs on 9 hits. Here's Jordan Schaefer. Kane was 9 up, 9 down with 5 strikeouts through the first 3 innings. Strike to Schaefer with Sandoval in at third, thinking that Schaefer might just lay down a bunt.
Wouldn't seem all that likely, but
you just never know. Boy, Kane right now is painting the corners. It's 1 and 2.
You know, it's more complicated than just having the full lineup intact, but it is sort of exciting to see what can happen. The Giants have a healthy lineup in there tonight.
One guy that's hacked off right now is Pagan. Lifted foul and out of play. He struck out twice. But still early for Angel Pagan. 1 and 2. Altuve to follow. And that is a foul. I really thought for a second like Malinsky was going to call that fair, and then in the middle of his call he changed his mind. Foul. Although Brad Mills is coming out.
So
don't you go back and look for the mark on the dirt?
Well, and Mills is, you know, when it bounces before the base, the ruling is, well, where is it as it gets to first base? Is it over the bag or is it on the foul side of the bag?
That's right.
And it's hard for the manager. I mean, what's the manager going to argue? The first base umpire, even if you think he got it blatantly wrong, he's standing right on top of it. You're in the dugout. But
if the hitter has to really react, because the hitter has to have the best angle. All right, so I mean, almost extended the base.
Almost looked like it did.
That's foul down the left field line.
And you know, I always hesitate, even though our camera guys do such a great job of capturing those images. If you're not exactly straight down the line, it can be a little deceiving, those replay angles, whether it's fair or foul.
Absolutely. Foul back. Perfect time to have the blimp, isn't it?
Oh my goodness. Makes for good viewing, that's for sure.
I think there'll be a blimp hanging around above the Olympic Club.
I believe they may mix in a few golf shots on the telecast, but it could be majority blimp shots.
Oh goodness. This is a rolled foul.
You figure the Golden Gate Bridge and Alcatraz and the waves crashing at Ocean Beach, and then just the beauty of the Olympic Club lake course itself. I think we'll see a lot of views from above all weekend long.
Got him. Check in with Amy G.
Well, Dwayne, last night, Madison Bumgarner, of course, hit his first career home run. He also recorded 12 strikeouts, and in doing so, he became the third Giants pitcher, just the third since 1900, to record 12 or more Ks and hit a home run in the same game. He joins Juan Marichal, who did it back in 1963 against the Mets, and our very own Mike Krukow, who did it in 1985 against the Astros. Gentlemen.
All right, thanks, Amy. Here's Altuve. Altuve looks at a strike.
Our own Mike Krukow.
Yeah.
He had, what, 7, 8 home runs in his career?
He could hit.
Mike was a catcher when he went to college. He was recruited as a position player to Cal Poly, and then he had a good arm. Ultimately took up pitching full time.
It's a good move.
I think that worked out well for Mike.
Very much so. Plus, he got 4 days in between starts to talk and work on his broadcasting skills. There's a strike to Altuve, 1-2. Although he's a little bit like Vogelsong. He started to get grumpy, grouchy. Just about the day before.
So,
or the day of, forget it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
2.5, 3 days to work on it.
Mike used to go into the park with the same group of guys every day. And the day he pitched, those guys would rather have walked from Foster City.
No fun.
No, let's just walk. 1-2 to Altuve. Altuve struck out. I mean, you talk about having a fine year. This little guy's having a fine year.
Well, I mean, he's a guy, he's 22 years old, so he's the same age as Bumgarner. He came up last year. He had something like 30 games above single-A baseball when the Astros promoted him. He had such a great year in the minor leagues, it was just destroying it down there. They just brought him up.
He got him. And that'll bring up Lowry. Well, I don't know about that one. I mean, if you're Altuve, you have to think that that's high. I mean, look, I know he ducked it a little bit, but still.
For every other hitter, that's a thigh-high pitch. For Altuve, that's up around his shoulders. I mean, he's 5'6".
Here's Lowry. Lowry takes a strike.
You can see why Altuve was a little ticked off, though. Another guy having a good year. Middle infield for the Astros. Second base and shortstop. They're getting all their offense from those two spots. A switch hitting shortstop who hits home runs. That's pretty rare.
He's got 12. And look, we know that ballpark is small, but 12 is 12. This one is down low to Jed Lowry.
I mean, another great story. Jed Lowry, a kid from Oregon, so he grew up out west, knowing a lot about the Giants. Came to Stanford and was not a. I mean, look, he's not a huge guy. He was not a highly recruited player at all.
Plus, what I like about him is he's got the old school stance. When I got to the big leagues, if you look to see his stance, it's a closed stance. That was 70% of the batting stances were closed, like Lowry. Now more stances are open. That's old style right there. Hopped out of play.
I think the Astros say there's a lot that's, you might say, old school about Jed Lowry.
Absolutely.
Certainly a lot of old school in that guy, though.
The horse. 2-2. Fans want Kane to strike out the side. Melky Cabrera running hard, and he will track it down as he runs over the mound, and that'll end the inning.
For the Astros against Matt Cain. And this has been an unbelievable night here. Cain has had to wait a long time in between each inning on the mound. And it hasn't affected his sharpness so far. Kind of hung a slider there, and Martinez ripped it foul. I say slider. That was a slower breaking ball, the curveball. Just a foul ball, 1-1. I mean, the Giants have had 11 hits. They've had a hit batter. They've drawn 2 walks. They've had 13 base runners and scored 8 runs in 4 innings. Fastball right at the knees. Beauty from Cain, strike 2. Meanwhile, the Astros have not had a man reach first base. So 13 base runners for the Giants in 4 innings. And that would be 0 for Houston so far. 1-2. And a curveball. Martinez did well just to get a piece of it. Now, Matt Cain, who has won not just 6 straight decisions, but 6 consecutive starts, he's been the winner. And that curve just off the plate inside. 2-2.
Yeah, and not only that, but eats up innings, calms everybody down.
What a year. The guy's had a great career, but at a very high level right now. Fastball got him looking. Strikeout number 8 already for Kane.
Our Chevron pitching matchup for tomorrow afternoon's game. Wandy Rodriguez. Rodriguez comes in with a 5-4 mark, a 3.27 ERA. He's good. And it'll be Barry Zito with a 5-3 mark and a 3.24 ERA. So check us out right here on Comcast Sportsnet area for noon baseball pregame live. That's when we'll start for the final game of the series. That's our Chevron pitching matchup.
Brett Wallace fouled one right off of Posey for strike one. And you're right, Wandy Rodriguez, he's the Astros' best pitcher. And he and Zito, 2 lefties, each with the big curveballs. Wandy Rodriguez, he throws that big slow curve just like Zito does. A guy who almost assuredly will be traded at the deadline. And there's a lot of interest, I would have to think. Another fastball right at knee level. Pinpoint location tonight for Matt Cain. He's ahead of Brett Wallace. 0-2. High fastball struck him out. 9 strikeouts for Cain.
Here's the high fastball, and that's exactly where Buster Posey wanted Matt Cain to throw it.
It would not be accurate to say Cain's not a strikeout pitcher because he's got strikeout stuff, but not typically quite like this. Catches the outside with a slider. Perfectly thrown again to Chris Johnson. 0-1.
All right, well, let's look.
That one pulled in the dirt outside. 1-1.
Yeah, double digits this year twice. He struck out 11 Pirates. He struck out 10 Brewers. Yeah, but consistently right around 7, 8 a game. But I think Mike likes to say he really does it. He goes for the strikeout when he needs a strikeout. Well, right now he's in a rhythm where he's got these Astros hitters off balance. He's got a good rhythm with home plate umpire Ted Barrett, and he and Buster Posey got something going on right now.
Well, he's got a chance to strike out the side here with his 1-2 pitch. Posey tried to hold it to get the call. Not quite.
Well, a lot of the umpires in this park thought that that last pitch was a strike, but it was not a strike.
And the one that counts saw it that way. So now it's 2-2. Johnson puts it in play with some crazy spin on it to Terrio for the 3rd out. So Matt Cain still has not allowed anyone to reach first base. He and the Giants with an 8-0 lead. Give Burris a little time. He has not had much of it of late. Brian Bogusevic, left-handed hitter with a lot of power, takes a changeup for ball 1.
A's beat the Rockies. Do you care?
Come from behind victory, huh?
Yep.
In the 9th inning. Man, and every day Coors Field looks more and more like the pre-humidor Coors.
It was 4-2 in the first inning.
The batteries ran out on the humidor. Fastball just blew it right by Bogusevic. One-two. Bogusevic stays alive. Cain's got 9 strikeouts in his 5 innings of work. And working on a special night here. Matt Cain has just overpowered these Astros. Here's his 1-2. That one right there. Strike 3 called. Number 10 for Cain.
All right, take a look. Buster Posey wants it up. Instead, Cain throws it right on the inside corner. As Dave says, strikeout number 10. Aerial coverage brought to you by Hangar 1, made here in California in an actual aircraft hangar. Maybe that's why they call it Hangar 1.
Yeah, that's a clue at least.
Yeah. Help me out here.
I think over.
That's an angle you rarely see.
Yeah, you're right about that. There's a deep drive by Chris Snyder. Cabrera will catch it at the wall.
Wow.
2 down.
Well, we all thought this was gone. Melky Cabrera got to the wall and just a little mini leap, and he puts it away. Chris Snyder's thinking, how did that happen? In our park, that's a big fly.
And Kane, I mean, you could tell he's into this. Giants fans are standing up here. And Kane, he was pumped. I think he was sure that one was at the least off the wall. So Kane still has not allowed a base runner. 2 down, and it's Bixler as a pinch hitter taking strike 1 with the curveball.
Here's the catch again by Cabrera. You know, when it was all said and done, Melky Cabrera had everything under control.
Yeah. Strike 2. The Giants fans know that something special is going on here tonight. 0-2. Just high with the fastball. Trying to get into the chase. Bixler, no contact. Posey to finish the put out. And a game that's been about the Giants offense is now about Matt
Schaefer. And Schaefer looks at a strike. 87 pitches for Matt Cain. Not one base runner in this game for the Astros. And the next pitch is wide. Schaefer has struck out twice. Cain's got 11 in the game. On deck is Jose Altuve. This is flipped foul, and it's now 1-2. John Miller is back, so welcome back, John.
It's getting exciting.
It is. Dave Fleming back over to the KNBR side. It's 1-2 to Schaefer. And that bounces in. It's 2-2. Schaefer's got some speed. So as an infielder, you have to be aware of that, and this infield is aware of that. 3-2. So Cain, he hasn't walked anybody. Listening to that crowd. And this is hit out into the alleyway. A long run for Blanco, and Blanco's going to dive, and he makes the catch! Just an unbelievable catch here in the 7th inning. This is unbelievable.
Into the gap, and he was in that direction in the first place, and then at the last moment it looks like no, but he makes the desperation dive, and then he has to hold on to it as he hits the deck. Look at the concentration there, and look at that play. And Matt Cain was watching as well. Yeah. And maybe saying the same thing. Are you kidding me?
And he tips his cap. Here's Altuve. Altuve has struck out twice in this game. And he takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Be hard pressed to find a better play than that one, given the situation that Cain is in right now. It's no balls and 1 strike. Out of play, 0-2.
And the ballpark, in a way, had something to do with it, because there are very few ballparks where the right fielder would be playing that far off the line to begin with, which is the norm in this ballpark. And still it was a spectacular catch. There's the spot where he landed and skidded across the warning track and held on to it. It's almost like he willed that one to land in his glove.
Well, it was hit in the perfect spot. It split Pagan and Blanco. So the 1-2 to Altuve. Got him. 12 strikeouts for Kane. Yeah, Schaefer hit this ball in the 4th inning that some thought was fair but called foul.
The way that one bounced back in the 4th inning, I think some people thought it maybe it hit the bag even.
Yeah. So here's Jed Lowry. Lowry has popped out twice. And he rolls this one past J.D. Martinez, and it's no balls and 1 strike.
Good changeup there from Kane. He's had really everything working tonight. Fastball, changeup, curveball, slider. 12 strikeouts, by the way, equals his career record, which he set 6 years ago.
And the next pitch is high. 98 pitches for Kane. When you have a lot of strikeouts, inevitably your pitch count is going to be high by about this inning. Lowry looks at a strike. It's 1-2.
Lowry didn't like that call. Said something to the umpire about it.
The sellout crowd at AT&T Park now standing with a 1-2 count to Jed Lowry. And that's in the dirt. Through the wickets of Buster Posey, 2-2. So now we're at 100 pitches, and you see the way it was distributed. 22 in the 4th inning. Ooh, Lowry had a good rip. It stays 2-2. And Kane, to his credit, pitch 101 was 94 miles an hour. So he has had that ability over the years to get just a little bit extra when he needs to. 2-2.
This was close. Let's take a look, and you can see Posey, and it was a few inches off the outside.
If this is called a strike, then the Astros would want an investigation. It's 3-2. Got him! 13 strikeouts for Matt Kane. It remains 10-0 Giants. All right, thanks, Mindy. We got a lot to play, and you have to do it on the move like Arios was, so it was a good play.
And that's why he's back over there right now. Bruce Bochy made some adjustments to the infield defense, getting his best gloves out there, which right now is Arias at third, Crawford back at short. Burris with more range than the older Terrio at second. Changeup at the knees. Strike one to Brett Wallace, who has struck out swinging twice. 2 of the 13 strikeouts Kane has recorded. Ooh, wow. Ball and a strike. A cutter that I guess was just inside. I thought maybe it had caught the corner of the plate before it moved off. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. And did he swing? Yes. Third base umpire Ryan Runge on appeal. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kane with 13 strikeouts already. There you have a look. I think he clearly swung at it. Kane already with a career record for strikeouts in this game. Everybody standing. Off the outside. Little breaking ball. 2-2. That was the 108th pitch of the game for Kane. He got the first batter on the first pitch of the inning. In the dirt with a changeup. 3-2. By a Giants pitcher in 33 years, Jonathan Sanchez. And now here we are, not quite 3 years later. 9th inning. about to begin.
And Bogusevic is going to lead things off. Bogusevic is bounced out, and he's struck out. And a swing and a foul. And it's no balls and 1 strike. 14 strikeouts for Kane. 7 swinging, 7 looking. Low and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. People hanging on every pitch thrown by Matt Cain.
Everybody's standing.
In tight, and Bogusevic just got out of the way. 2 balls and 1 strike. .117 pitches for Cain. Swinging a foul, and I don't think that was a strike. It's 2-2. So Bogusevic steps out, adjusts the batting gloves. Cain, the same demeanor, no matter what. 2-2. Hit out to left field. Melky Cabrera near the line. 1 down in the 9th. And Chelsea you talk about hanging on every pitch. Here's Snyder. Snyder is the Astros hitter that hit the ball that everybody thought was out, that Cabrera tracked down in the 6th inning. And a breaking ball is wide. 1 ball and no strikes. Castro is on deck. High fly ball in the park. 2 down in the 9th. And the hitter will be a local kid from Castro Valley, Jason Castro.
Well, Castro has a little bit of history with Cain. He's only had 2 plate appearances against him.
And one of them was a home run.
The first home run that Castro ever hit was only his 3rd game as a big leaguer.
And the pitch to Castro is a strike at the knees, and it's 0-1. High with a fastball to even the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Castro started last night and went 1 for 4. And the 1-1 pitch at the knees. 1-2. Cain appeared to look around, gazing at the upper deck, but now looking into Buster Posey. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On the ground, Arias from deep third, got him! And that's a perfect game. And the Giants mobbing Matt Cain on the pitcher's mound. Performance by Matt Cain. That's the 22nd perfect game in Major League history. The last to do it was Philip Humber on April 21st of this year. And the first in the Giants franchise history.
The 30th year of Giants baseball, Matt Cain, the first in all those many years to pitch a perfect game.
And Kelsey being escorted probably down to the field. And by no means was that last play an easy one by Joaquin Arias.
Joaquin Arias, Gold Glove vote. That was a tough play. He got a tough hop, played it cleanly, and then a great throw. And Matt Cain with an appreciative hug for Joaquin Arias.
Well, here's the play. It was tough catching it. And then he did not have a whole lot of momentum to first base, but and a sneaky trick by Belt as he put the ball in his back pocket. And they're going to get the horse. Pretty remarkable night.
And then Matt Cain, as we see the last moment again. But Matt Cain is on the field now, being saluted by the crowd live here and responding to the crowd.